Hi and welcome to ThePrint. My name is Karanjeet Kaur and I'm a journalist and an editor. Today I'd like to talk to you about the Hema Committee report that was recently released to the public and the parallels we can draw with the Me Too movement from 2018. Hope is a dangerous thing for Indian women. The Hema Committee report dangles it before us once again, but experience has taught us to be wary of such promises. In an ecosystem of pervasive hostility, sexual and otherwise, hope is that ever-elusive mirage permanently parked in the future. Even when there is occasion to celebrate, like the existence of a landmark report probing the conditions of women in the Malayalam film industry, we have to be cautious in our relation, because we are reminded of the ghosts of past disappointments and the spectre of future battles. Still, we push ourselves to hold on to slivers of optimism. The 235-page report is really one of a kind. The 3-member panel, headed by former Judge K. Hema, was set up in 2017 after the sexual assault of a prominent actress by a group of men. Now, in the investigation that followed, Kerala police arrested Malayalam superstar Dileep, who is said to have orchestrated the attack on his co-star. Dileep was later released on bail. From the story pieced together by the authorities, Dileep is believed to have hired thugs who intercepted the actress's car, assaulted her, and recorded it as revenge for interference in the superstar's personal life. 7 years have passed since the gruesome incident, but the case is still underway. The deviousness of this case shook the foundations of Kerala's movie business, but the findings of the commission that followed it should surprise absolutely no one. Here's what the report states. A small group of very powerful men preside over everything in the Malayalam film industry. The group includes directors, producers, and actors. Sexual harassment of actresses and women crew members is rampant. Being asked for sexual favors in exchange for roles is par for the course. Women crew members, when they do manage to get hired at significantly lower pay than their male counterparts, have to grapple with terrible working conditions and without basic facilities like toilets or changing rooms. Now, unlike organized sectors, the film industry has traditionally been viewed and framed as a creative, unregulated trade. So there are no grievance redressal mechanisms in place either. There was a hope that with increasing corporatization of the industry, some regulations would be put in place, but that has still not happened. Now, for many Indian women, the findings of the report, as well as the reactions it has drawn, feel like very familiar territory. Because it took multiple legal challenges, an RTI petition, and 5 years for the report to be released to the public. Soon after the release, we saw other women actors who were propped up to deny, deflect, and diffuse the findings. This is customary strategy, but it has put a dent in our optimism. But even beyond that, it feels like Indian women are routinely made to believe that they are in the midst of a reckoning. They are brought to the precipice of change only to have their hopes dashed. The Me Too moment, not movement, in 2018, which led to a groundswell of allegations against the power elite in several industries, including Bollywood, was one such reckoning. It offered women in the Hindi film industry some catharsis. There was a space to share their stories of sexual abuse and harassment. For a brief second, there was an illusion that men who had abused their positions of power for years might be held accountable. Then, the spell broke, and women realized that the power structures of Bollywood had only been fortified, this time against them. How does abuse continue to thrive in our industries? Primarily through a culture of silence and individuation, where victims are silenced, support networks remain silent, and the people who have the power to change things are very happy to play along quietly. After Me Too abated, the only people who ended up suffering were the women complainants who were comfortably dismissed as outcasts. The Malayalam film actress who was assaulted ended up losing all her projects and had to take a 5-year sabbatical. Tanushree Datta, who repeatedly alleged that Nana Patekar had sexually harassed her during the shoot of the 2008 film Horn Hoke Please, and had even filed a formal complaint against him, has found no work in Bollywood. Patekar, meanwhile, has had multiple releases in Tamil, Hindi, and Marathi. Now, this is a pattern that you see repeated across the board. Producer and director Vikas Behel, who was accused of assaulting and harassing his colleagues, including actress Kangana Ranaut, has released 5 films since the allegations surfaced. Director Sajid Khan, who was banished for 1 year following multiple counts of sexual misconduct, re-entered public life in 2022 with a grand platform in Bigg Boss. 6 years on, Me Too feels a little like screaming into the void, and for one fleeting, exhilarating moment, hearing a response. But it seems to have had little measurable impact, outside of giving men a new opportunity to joke about how scared they are of false allegations. In a recent interview, filmmaker and screenwriter Vinta Nanda, who had alleged that actor Alok Nath sexually assaulted and brutalized her, opened up about how little support she found after she spoke about her assault. Nanda said that she had been talking about the assault for ages, including in an interview with Bombay Times in 2004. But everyone pretended that they had not read Bombay Times that day, she said. When she reiterated the allegations in 2018, in the wake of other Me Too allegations, she was criticized for not speaking up earlier. Nanda's experience is emblematic of several women who unwittingly sign up for interrogation from every quarter when they talk about sexual abuse. Questions are posed about their personal and sexual history, the details of their abuse, their intent, and the timing of their allegations. They are asked why they didn't open up sooner, why they didn't file formal complaints, and why they put themselves in those positions in the first place. Not only must they relive their trauma, but they must subject themselves to a relentless inquisition. These goalposts will keep shifting. While women tilt at windmills, none of this scrutiny is ever leveled at the men who are accused of these crimes. They continue to fail upwards. Despite this bleak environment, Nanda seemed hopeful in that interview. Who knew that there would be a world of Me Too where the world would be prepared to hear these things, she said. Maybe that's the hope with which we should treat the Hema Committee's report. It's an incremental step in the right direction. It's a formalization of what had hitherto been open secrets. One of the biggest criticisms of Me Too was that these were often not formal complaints, and that public allegations could potentially ruin the lives and careers of accused men. Though I'm still waiting to see any powerful man who has lost professional opportunities because of these allegations. But I, and Indian women like me, have made our peace with the fact that change will be built on the graves of the careers of many women. The Hema Committee report is a start. It's a reminder that hope is not an emotion. It's a discipline that requires us to keep pushing forward. For now, we'll take the small victory, because the alternative, silence and resignation, is simply not an option. The only question that remains is how many more reports, how many more careers, and how many more lives will it take before we see real change?